Well, America fucked up their own tournament. The Home Run Derby is kind of for losers at this point, and we take a look inside the quite messed up brain of my co-host, Braden Murray. That's all coming up on the Cam Show music. This is the Cam Show on Rogue Media Sports Network. Welcome into another week of the biggest sports week of the year, you could argue, MLB All-Star Game week. We are going to have some fun because we are going to make some shit up as we go along. But it was a fascinating day of soccer. I know most of you probably didn't appreciate it, but it was a great Sunday of soccer with two finals. The Euros final, which we'll talk about in this show, and I want to start with the Copa America. Now, the big losers in all of this is, by the way, Argentina wins the Copa America back-to-back with a World Cup mixed there in between. One of the great international teams ever now. The great loser of this tournament is America for a couple of different reasons. First off, the overall aesthetic of it. I've mentioned it on this show before. Soccer to me is at its best when I'm watching the English Premier League, where they are playing in old grounds, where the fans are right on top of you. They've got designated sections for the away fans, so they're all in the same place. It makes for a great atmosphere. All of those things which you do not get in American soccer. And to be fair to America, a lot of international tournaments lack that atmosphere because they play them in 70,000-seat football stadiums. You're nowhere near the action. Fans are scattered throughout. There's no, great orange wall like you would see in the Euros. That's not there in the Copa America. It looks dull. They're playing on patched-together turf, even in some of the best stadiums in the world, and it just doesn't look like big-time soccer. It just doesn't. It's the same problem you have with MLS. Now, MLS, those stadiums are half full, which we saw a lot in the group stages of Copa America, but it doesn't look big time. And as weird as it might sound, I don't think soccer is ever going to look big time in a football stadium, an American football stadium that seats upwards of 70 to 75,000 in each of them. It just doesn't look like soccer to me. So that's your first problem. The second problem, and more obvious, America sucked. America sucked in this tournament. The first hosts ever to go out in the group stages. They got their coach canned, who should have been, was canned last year, should have been double canned last year. And it's like we let this kind of song and dance go on, kidding ourselves that Greg Berhalter was going to be the answer to all our prayers. And now, 2 years away from the biggest World Cup they've ever played in, they're like, oh, you know what? We should find ourselves a coach. Yeah, you should have 3-4 years ago. You should have last year. And instead, you waited for 2 years before the World Cup after this great international embarrassment of not getting out of the group stages. The U.S. is moving backwards. It was such good momentum that the U.S. had 10 years ago or so. That 2014 World Cup where they made it out of the groups for the second time running. And had these great storylines. You had the John Brooks header. You had the great game against Portugal. You had Tim Howard, all those saves against Belgium. You lost the game, but you had some good momentum. The MLS got better after that, and then you failed to qualify for the World Cup in 2018, and truly it hasn't been on a great plane since. I know you added, Atlanta gave you this great atmosphere once again in a domed football stadium. But really, it hasn't gone the way you would have hoped, I think, if you're U.S. soccer in the 10 years since. And it's culminating in this great international embarrassment on your home soil. So that's the pretty obvious of America cannot compete, still can't compete with the likes of some of these, these top South American teams, even a Colombia, let alone an Argentina. They can't compete with them. Shit, they can't even compete with Panama. Canada made it to the semis, and you didn't even make it out of the groups? Whew. So that's the obvious embarrassment. And then finally, I'll split the blame here. But that Copa America final on Sunday night should have been an absolute classic. And it was a terrific football match. Argentina pulling out 1-0 in extra time. Great drama. But the real drama came before the game even started and really throughout the first half. And it was not happening on the pitch. It was happening outside. Once again, another major final, another major fuck-up by the governing body. And America's not excluded from this. It was played in Miami, the Hard Rock Stadium, and the match had to be delayed over an hour because they couldn't get fans in the building. This somehow happens every few years with major soccer games, and it doesn't get fixed. And I don't understand why. There is clearly a layout for it to get fixed because it happens with other international tournaments. But they had closed the gates. They were worried about too many people coming in that didn't have tickets. And because of that, it led to these giant crushes in the turnstiles and security not opening the gates even for ticketed fans. They were passing children over the barriers so that they wouldn't be crushed to death. Figure it out, man. It happened at the Champions League final in 2022 to Liverpool and Real Madrid fans. Unfortunately, Liverpool fans know this all too well because it's happened a couple of deadly times in their history, including the Hillsborough disaster in 1989 where 97 people died because there were too many people coming into the ground and security didn't know what the fuck to do. It happens at other international tournaments. You have to have multiple ticketing gates. You have to. Because then what happens is what happened at the Hard Rock Stadium last night where there's just too many people. You don't know what to do, so you keep them out, and then people start to pass out because they're being crushed, and then you have to open the gates for a few minutes just so people won't die and that they can actually get to safety. And blammo, you've got half the people coming in don't have tickets. Then you shut the gates again, and people are literally at the ticketing counter showing them their phones with their Ticketmaster app open because they paid a couple $100 to get in this building and you won't let them in. The game is going on and they're not being let in the building. People are Shawshanking it, running through the vents at Hard Rock Stadium just to get into a building, into a sporting event that they paid to get into. Figure it out. Like, I can't even go to an NFL game today without going through at least two checkpoints to make sure that I have tickets and that I can get into this arena. Shit, I can't even go to a Baylor basketball game down the road without going through two ticketing checkpoints. Why is that not happening for the Copa America final? You should be able to weed out, like, I don't know, half a mile away from the stadium who's actually supposed to be there and who is not. And this happens with soccer. I'm not saying that the fans in general don't have any blame here. There are plenty that came in without any tickets. But we've known it for decades and through other tournaments that this is what happens with soccer fans. It's specifically a thing in South America where people hang around the stadium and hope to get lucky and get into the match. It happens, man. I'm not saying there's no blame there, but how does CONMEBOL not know this? How? And I'm sure it's happened at other games in this tournament. So why in the final is it a complete and utter clusterfuck? That's what I don't understand. And by the way, America, it's coming again in 2026. It's going to be the same layout. You're going to be playing them at these major football stadiums. You already know where they're going to be. And you know that there are going to be people without tickets trying to get into the ground. It happens. Happens all the time. But other tournaments have figured out how to minimize that through proper security. The people in Miami last night, they had no clue what they were doing. And I'm sure it's CONMEBOL that paid them, that contracted them out. But they had no clue. And that falls on us as the host nation, which will happen again in 2026. So FIFA, figure it out. I know you're going to cut as many corners as you possibly can. That's how we got a World Cup in Qatar, okay? But There's such an easy fix to this. Just a couple more bucks, 1 or 2 more security checkpoints. Trust me, man. There are international soccer stadiums, I've been to them, that you can't even get within like 5 or 6 blocks of the place if you don't have a ticket. That seems to work like a charm. So, FIFA 2026, figure this out. Figure this out, man. You know, let's leave the ridiculousness of South Americans to on the pitch when they're all crowding around the referee or writhing in pain on the floor. By the way, I've never been to South America. They're obviously great soccer fans and have a great soccer tradition. But I'm starting to wonder in these domestic leagues, like, are they allowed to murder the refs? Because it seems to get very close to that in these international tournaments, you know, to the point where I'm like, they're very relaxed with this. Maybe they are allowed to just kill them, like on the pitch. I don't know. I've never been to a game in Brazil or Argentina or Colombia or anything like that. So, anyway, it just took away from what was a great final. That's all. It was a ton of fun. 1-0. Messi wins, even though he's carted off in tears, basically, leaving the pitch in the first half. 2 terrific finals yesterday. I'm glad that all the fans were able to get into the stadium in Berlin, from what we know of, ones who had bought tickets, instead of those poor families who probably spent hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to get in the Copa America final. And who knows, they might have traveled from South America to get there, and they were shut out because CONMEBOL couldn't get their shit together. FIFA better get it together for this World Cup, because that was embarrassing. Back at the Cam Show, Rogue Media Sports Network. Braden Murray, is it coming home?
No, it's not.
You sound disappointed in that. Were you rooting for the 3 Lions?
Absolutely not. No.
That's fine. It's never coming home, man.
I don't think it. Yeah, not in my lifetime.
Was there a moment in that match where I thought England was going to win it?
Yeah.
Yes, there was. That Cole Palmer goal.
Yeah, when they scored. Yeah.
I was just like, whoa. Because, I mean, just how many times have we seen that in soccer and really in sports of, like, Spain were the better team most of the day, but it was only 1-0. You know, they weren't putting him to bed. And then Cole Palmer scores an absolute beauty. And I'm like, oh, shit, here we go.
PKs, maybe.
Not to be.
No.
Not to be. Back-to-back Euro final losses for England. Hell yeah, man.
That makes me smile.
That was fun.
That's nice.
That's fun.
Nice.
My team, my Spain.
Yours, yeah.
4-time winners now. Oh, man. My team.
Your team. Noted.
Viva España.
Noted fan of Spain.
Yes.
Cameron Stewart.
Fernando Torres.
He definitely didn't pick the Netherlands to win it all.
Check the tape. Oh, man. Beautiful day for Spain. Which, by the way, I saw an insane stat. Since 2001, which Valencia lost the Champions League final that year, I believe, to Real, or not Real Madrid. No, that would be the next year. Bayern Munich. And since then, there have been 27 Spanish teams to make a final. That is Champions League final, Europa League final, Euros final, World Cup final. And 27 times the Spanish team has won. That's nuts,
insane.
Man. We've had some all Spanish finals in there.
Right.
And El Clasico in the Champions League final. Like I was just mentioning, Valencia, Real Madrid, I believe, faced off in one of those. 2003, maybe? Is that right? I don't think that's right when I'm thinking about it. Because 2002, Real Madrid beat Bayer Leverkusen in Glasgow. But 27 finals, 27 Spanish victories.
Yeah.
That's not bad, man.
No,
that's not bad.
I would say that's pretty good.
Oh, this was a nation that couldn't win international tournaments. They won the Euros in 64 and then nothing again until the Euros in 08.
Oh, wow.
And then 08 2010 World Cup,
2010 World Cup,
2012 Euros, and now 2024 Euros. But most importantly, England lost, and their golden generation slipping away. Harry Kane will never win a thing, which I do feel kind of bad for. I have nothing against Harry Kane, but it is funny how he just can't win anything.
He's funny looking too.
Well, he's
I mean,
English. I mean,
That's true. Most of them are funny looking.
what do you
Very similar to the
expect,
U.S.
mates?
golden generation.
Yeah,
Although a little bit more successful.
yeah. I would say to defend my second team, the U.S., only behind Spain, of course. They weren't expected to win anything, really. Like, you're expected to be exciting and make some runs, but like, England should have won this tournament. They probably should have won the last Euros, like before the tournament. I'm saying, like, I know they got to the final in both, but before the tournament, and they were probably a top 4 candidate for the last World Cup. Oh, it's just so delicious, man.
I think there might be one team that squandered their golden generation worse than England. It's Belgium.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Belgium haven't
The thing
done
with England
anything.
is they've done it now twice in my lifetime.
Yeah,
anyway.
but they made it to the finals. You know, Belgium.
Yeah. Belgium for sure. No, Belgium made a World Cup semifinal.
Yeah.
2018, and that was probably their best team. They could have won that. They seriously could have won that whole thing.
I think did they lose to France or Croatia that year?
They lost to France. Croatia beat England.
Okay.
Yeah, that was Hazard at the peak of his powers. De Bruyne really coming into the peak of his powers. Lukaku still could finish.
Yeah.
Company was still back there.
Yeah.
That was a good side, good spine of the squad too. But anyway, they go the wayside just like England does. I took a lot of solace in that. That was funny. Some great memes afterwards. Astrid Wet, who is the most annoying person on Twitter, fake crying in the stands and looking at the camera to make sure it was rolling. Oh, it was beautiful. Patty Pimblett calling out an entire pub's worth of people because he's Scouse, not English, and they can't fight back because he's one of the best fighters on the planet. Oh, man. Beautiful stuff. Cinema. Absolute cinema. Oh. And another great international competition done with. Really, the next real one is going to be right here.
Yeah.
In the good
Waco,
old US
Texas.
of A, baby. Waco, Texas. Did Waco win the bid?
I think they did.
McLean Stadium, home of Baylor football, win the bid for.
They're hosting.
They could host a group stage game.
Yeah. There's one happening at Waco ISD.
Hell yeah, man. China Spring.
Yeah.
Dude, I do find it funny. I know this meme has kind of been memed to death and will be again in 2026. But, like, the Europeans really will not be able to comprehend what they're about to get into.
Yeah.
Like, they see America, they see Brooklyn, they see LA, they see the river running through Chicago. That's not what you're going to get. You are going to get roads, highways, and
parking lots.
70,000 seat football stadiums that are only surrounded by parking lots.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine when they rock up to Arlington, Texas? It's 110 degrees. They're surrounded completely by asphalt. And they're like, well, how are we supposed to do a march to the game? So many fans will do marches to the games in these European cities. Probably not an option.
Not smart.
Hope you've got the Uber app. Like that's what you've got. Oh, you want to drink at a pub and then walk over to the stadium? Better luck next time. How about $12 beers inside the stadium? That's something that's different from a lot of European soccer leagues, is that will let you drink in the seats, but it is going to be 110% different experience than what they're used to. Which is hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much beauty to European soccer, domestic soccer, of all those things I just described. You know, meeting at the pub before, having a couple pints, marching to the match, singing songs. You're walking through terrace streets. You know, people live in these streets. You're walking through neighborhoods to get there. It's very cool. That's not the case.
Yeah,
here.
you can't do that. Not in Arlington, Texas.
And then so many of them are going to be like that. The finals in the Meadowlands at Giant Stadium, like, that's just like a piece of the highway.
Yeah. Doing it
between New York and New Jersey.
Doing it in Houston, one of the most notoriously least walkable cities in the world.
And that stadium, too, it's right off the highway.
Yep.
Like, there's no way. That's so funny, man. Gillette's hosting them in Foxborough. Oh, you thought you were going to Boston? Again, better luck next time. How about 30 miles away in the lovely town of Foxborough? Good luck getting there. Good luck finding a place to drink there. Trust me. Oh, man. The Rose Bowl, Pasadena. Oh, it's going to be great. Oh, it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for the memes of this. And I feel bad. These poor Europeans are about to have their football innocence lost.
Yep.
The South Americans will be like, we came here 2 years ago. We're used to this shit.
Yeah. Let's tear down some more stadiums.
Oh, brother. It's bad. It's so bad. Which did make me think. You know what I really want to do, Braden?
What, Cam?
I really want to join a church basketball league.
I think you
I don't
should.
want to go to church, but I do want to join a church basketball league.
What position would you play? Center?
Yes, a center. Yeah.
Yeah.
Back to the basket center.
Mm-hmm.
You fucking moron. I play
Notoriously
guard, dude.
Very tall.
2 guard.
Shooting
Listed
guard.
at 5'7". Yeah, because I can't really ball handle either. Nor do I know if I could shoot, but I just want to play.
I can't shoot. Nope.
I haven't shot a basketball in literally probably 2 or 3 years.
The last time I played like organized basketball, I messed up my knee, and so my knee hurts a lot.
How old were you? Like 16?
Yes.
Jesus.
But keep in mind, chemotherapy does affect your bones.
Just, even that many years later? You had cancer when you were like 3.
No.
10 or something.
That was 9. But
7 years later, it's still...
Oh, yeah.
That seems like a you problem. So could you have like played high school sports even if you wanted to?
I probably played soccer. I played soccer all through elementary and middle school.
And like you could have, like you physically.
Physically, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if I would have been good enough.
Skill wise is a different story.
Yes.
Yeah. But like the bones, you could have played.
But I was pretty good at left back. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
Yeah.
What kind of system? Were you like bombing up the wing, or were you kind of staying home?
I was physical.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Sealing off the edge of the area.
Yep.
A lot of soccer talk today.
Yeah. I love soccer. I love playing soccer.
I love watching soccer and still haven't quite gotten to breaking it down.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can watch soccer a little analytically.
Okay.
But like baseball and basketball, I can like really hone in on it. Anyway, speaking of baseball, there is baseball this Monday night, but it is the home run derby. Braden, are you going to watch the home run derby?
Probably not.
I hate sounding like such an old man, and it's kind of an old take at this point. Home run derby, dunk competition. They just suck.
Yeah.
And I say, they haven't been good in 15 years, but I don't know if that's because they were good back then or because I was a child. Like I've watched one home run derby the last probably 10, 12 years, and it was when Max Muncy was in it because he's a Baylor guy.
Yeah, I really only watch them if there's an Astro in it.
Is it entertaining anymore? The whole All-Star Game thing, which I think we'll probably talk about the game tomorrow, but like, it's probably the best of the sports All-Star games, but I'm ready to kind of get rid of all of them.
Yeah, I was agreeing. I'm thinking about this last night. I'm not a fan.
Make an All-Star team, but
yeah. It's cool for the fans to say, hey, we like this guy a lot, but the on-field product is lacking.
And I guess this is going to push back on my own point a little bit, but like if I was going to the All-Star Game every year as a fan,
that'd be cool.
I would probably do that because I like to travel and I want to hit every ballpark, and it's kind of a cool thing to say you would have gone to.
When you're seeing the best of the best of their positions.
But like, there's just not the same allure that it had for me to watch it on TV. I'll probably watch the All-Star Game tomorrow because there will be nothing else on that's live.
Yeah.
Actually, we'll be at trivia. They'll have it on.
They probably will.
They'll have it on.
Depending
they had the
which one we
Copa
go
last
to.
week.
Pinewood Trivia is this week.
Oh, does it have a theme? I think
we'll
they
find
usually
out.
have a theme. We'll find out.
We'll find
that out. I wouldn't mind going there instead. Red will put it on for us. Anyway, so is there like anything in your mind that could actually make this better? Could make this more fun? Because I honestly don't know.
No.
You just want to let it die.
I don't care for the All-Star, like the All-Star Pro Bowl, NBA All-Star.
Well, Pro Bowl's the worst.
The Pro Bowl sucks.
And it always
Although,
has sucked.
did you see what Joe Burrow proposed?
No.
So a couple weeks ago, maybe not, maybe like last week, they're thinking about doing an 18-game regular season. And Joe Burrow proposed 2 bye weeks, and in one of the bye weeks, that's when you have the Pro Bowl. And he thinks that way...
So a league-wide bye week in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he thinks that way you could get more players to actually buy in because they're not broken down and rehabbing injuries. And then you would have the Super Bowl pushed back a week or two, and so the next day you get a day off for President's Day.
Like that.
Yeah.
Would you then...
I mean,
it would have to be totally two-hand touch if he did it in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
Because, like, owners would never let
the
that
days
happen.
of Sean Taylor, gone.
That's long gone.
Long gone.
Yeah. But you'd have to, like, really make it flag football two-hand touch. Like, they might still be they might be doing that now, for all I know.
I think they are.
I could give a shit. Did I send you that video of Bill Burr talking about Tron?
I don't know.
Oh, damn. It's actually really good. Bill Burr has lost his fastball, but he has a great take on Tron and science fiction that I agree with entirely. I mean, he basically just says science fiction stupid.
I disagree, but
yeah, I agree. Okay. I will respect your right to like science fiction.
Okay.
It's just I just can't get into it, man. I really can't. I need something like that could actually happen.
So like Blade, you're not a Blade Runner fan?
I like Blade Runner good enough.
What about 2049?
I haven't seen 2049.
Ooh,
yeah,
that's a good one.
So see, that's where we're at. Like I appreciated Blade Runner, but I didn't bother to go see the second one.
None of the Star Wars movies?
I've seen the first 6,
okay.
And this was part of Burr's thing was that like I liked him for a little bit when I was a kid. Like I was way into it when I was a little kid, but for like a year. I never really loved Harry Potter.
That's more fantasy, but
yeah, to me that's the thing. To me, they kind of run together.
Well, in bookstores,
and then there are some shows that just like are just too ridiculous. That might seem like they could happen in real life, but they're just too ridiculous. And I'm like, I don't believe any of this.
Like what?
What I watched of Yellowstone. I watched like a season of Yellowstone.
No,
I'm like, this is just there's too much drama here.
You're not a Game of Thrones guy, right?
No.
Okay.
No.
That's
and I get people really love it. It's just not for me. It's just not for me.
Did you see the new Dune movie?
No.
Ooh, you should.
Red really wants me to see that.
You should. Have you seen the first one?
No.
Oh, you should.
No.
You should watch both, but the first one you might find a little boring.
Damn, that's a good sell. That's a good sell.
I show it to my roommates, and I love the Dune movies and the first 2 Dune books that I've read.
I think it's a complex for me in that, like, when there's nothing supernatural going on, I can figure out the movie. Does that make sense? Like, I can figure out the characters and what they're going for and what the Easter eggs are of, like, hey, look out for that later. But when there's something that's just not of this world, I can't, like, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the same thing with superhero movies. Same thing. And I don't really like superhero movies.
Yeah,
but it's just like, oh my gosh, how are they going to get out of this? And in a movie like The French Connection, I could be like, oh, okay, here's how they could maybe do this. But in the Avengers, it's like, oh, Hulk comes in and just smashes everything to death. Oh, okay, yeah, I guess we could have saw that coming.
Yeah, I've fallen out of love with the Marvel movies. Just there's too much, and they're getting worse.
But
they
honestly,
keep
oh my
them.
God, this is all awakening. Sorry to cut you off, Braden. But this is why the only superhero I really like is
Batman.
Batman. He doesn't have any fucking superpowers. I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, some of it's illogical as shit, right?
Did you see
no doubt, but
the Pattinson Batman movie?
No.
Oh.
No. I'm a Dark Knight guy.
Zach's disappointed, isn't you? Zach's upset.
Zach would be disappointed at quite a lot of the movies. Spider-Man is, I mean, not logical, but he doesn't like really have a superpower. I mean, he does, but he doesn't have like super strength. He can just fling webs.
He does have super strength, right, Zach?
Spider-Man?
Yeah, he does.
Super strength?
Yeah. I mean, more like not like
he's just
Superman
like casting
strong,
webs
but,
and flying.
well, he can't fly.
I know, like he's fucking casting
Yeah,
the
yeah,
webs
yeah,
and
yeah.
soaring. Like I'm admitting that is illogical for my point, but he's kind of a normal guy. Superman's not a normal guy.
Then you like Iron Man?
Yeah, that first movie was okay.
I don't like Iron Man. I don't like him in
It
the
doesn't do
movies.
anything for me. Neither does Captain America,
Hmm.
who does have superpowers.
He does.
But yeah, like it just doesn't do much. Wow, we covered a lot.
Yeah, we
in
did.
that. Wow. So all that to say,
To
you're not
say,
gonna watch the
I'm
Home
not
Run
gonna
Derby?
watch the Home Run Derby. No.
I was hoping you would handicap it in this hour, but whatever. That's all right. Oh man, Braden, see what happens when I let your brain go to work.
Yeah.
In fact, let's take a look. Let's take a look into that brain.
Okay.
How about it? You want to do that next?
Let's do it. Let's do it
next. It is a segment we like to call Braden's Brain here on the Cam Show, brought to you by Rogue Media Sports Network. Braden Murray takes us inside what can be a messed up mind, truly. Sometimes I
Meandering.
just wonder how he gets to these points, but he gets there. So, Braden, without any further ado, why don't you give us some brain?
Well, thanks, Cam. It's been a while since we've done one of these.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute.
Been a minute. Hoping you come up with something good, man.
Okay. So last night, I decided, you know what? I'm tired of eating at my apartment. I'm gonna go out to Wingstop.
Okay.
Love Wingstop.
Big time. Yeah.
Love Wingstop. And I love the location we have on 2nd Street in Franklin. It's very
Yeah,
nice.
a lot of people get that.
I like the neon sign. It's pretty cool.
Mhm.
Hot wings to go. So anyways, I go to Wingstop. I get my wings. And I decided, you know what? I have no plans for the night. This is around like 8:30-ish.
Wow.
I have no plans for the night until 10:15. I'm going to go watch House of the Dragon.
Is
So
that
you
what
know-
time it's on?
It's on at 8, but my friend
Okay.
couldn't watch it till
Gotcha.
later.
I was like, that is nuts. Anyway,
So I said, you know, I'll sit outside. You know, it's a nice night. I'll eat my wings outside.
alone?
Yeah, alone.
Yeah. I love that. Love that. I would do that. Yeah.
And I'm sitting there at the table, eating my garlic parmesan. I didn't feel like anything crazy. And I look to my right, and there's just a homeless guy sitting there watching me. And I wasn't expecting someone.
That is the issue with that location you described. It's downtown, so
Yes. I wasn't expecting anyone to be sitting there, so I jumped. It's like, oh, there's a dude there, and he's like, no, it's fine. So I continue eating my food. I'm seeing what's happening at Copa America. I'm like, damn, this is ruining our
Damn.
reputation.
Yeah, that's too bad.
That's crazy. $2,000 for a ticket you can't get in.
Yeah,
that
that's tough.
sucks.
That's
that
tough.
sucks. But I'm sitting there.
Imagine if that happened to me at the NBA Finals. Oh my God, I would be fucking insufferable. I'd still be bitching about it. I would dedicate this whole program to it. Anyway, go ahead.
I'm sitting there and I see across the way, coming towards my direction, which I think is another homeless guy. And so he gets up to the Wingstop and he knows the other homeless man. They chill for a second. I'm like, oh, okay, they must be buddies.
It's a homeless posse at this point.
Yeah.
Let's get there.
And you know, I keep eating my fries, my wings,
Yeah.
my drink, and the guy comes behind me, over my left shoulder, and he's grumbling something at me. I couldn't understand him the first time. I'm like, what did you say, brother? And he goes something about my car is out of gas. I'm stuck on the side of the road. Can you get in my car with me
Right.
and come pay for a gallon of gas? And I'm like, I don't know, man.
Wait. So sorry.
Okay.
Because he says he needs to go get gas.
Right.
And so he wants you to go in his car with him that has no gas, allegedly.
It was either that. I couldn't understand what he was asking, really.
I can understand these people can sometimes be confusing in this state when they're trying to lure you into their car. Yeah.
Right. It was either go with him in his car or I take him in my car for to get like a jerry
Either way,
can or
sounds like a
something.
good deal for you.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know, man. You know, I probably this Wingstop was a splurge a little bit because I'm jobless and poor.
Just say you walked.
It's getting tight.
History job, man.
And so like I don't know, man. He says, just 1 gallon, $3 or $4. I'm like, not tonight, not tonight. And so I see him go back.
Maybe tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow. Maybe
leaving that door open
during the school year.
Here's
maybe
my number.
When I had my lariat job. But I see him walk back to a car, get in the car, and I see in the car it's 3 or 4 other people. And I'm like, oh, I made the right decision.
Yeah, I would say so. It was probably obvious.
They drove off.
Huh. They had gas.
Yeah, they had gas. So probably saved my life. Could have saved my life last night. Or at least a couple 100 smackaroonies that I do not have at the moment. Even if yeah.
That's a good call, Braden. This is why, look, eating outside downtown Waco.
It was a good idea.
It's a risk. It's a risk. They see a good-looking young man like you.
And I realized I was the only person who had my food. It was sitting by myself outside. Other people were outside, but one was like a family, and the other one was like a teenager who was waiting for his food. And so they knew that I had money.
Did they ask the teenager next?
No.
They they wanted you.
But I left
like
pretty
a
soon
little
after
Uncle
that.
Sam, I want you, baby.
I left pretty soon after that experience.
I would have taken it to go right away.
Really?
No, like after they started talking to me, yes.
Oh, I did. I
Yes.
did. I left after that.
Yeah.
But that reminded me of another time.
I mean, would I have taken it to go straight away from when you got there? Probably, but that's just me.
Yeah. Back in the fall.
Okay.
I might have told you all about this one. I'm there at the Valero that's on Jack Colkin. You know that one?
Yes. So this is right off the highway.
Right off the highway,
downtown.
right next to McDonald's. And
a lot of drifters.
Are
you allowed to say that anymore?
I don't know.
Is there a politically
a lot of
correct term for
unhoused people?
drifters?
Unhoused people is what the PC
drifting and grifting.
And I'm getting gas to go home because at this point I wasn't in Waco back full time. So I was really only here for the weekends for China Spring and Baylor games.
Yeah.
And
you could afford gas, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting gas. I have, at this point, my chemo curls are in full force. It was humid. It was very froey. You remember my
I do.
When they got when they were super humid. And there's a guy who's coming towards me, a black gentleman. But I again wasn't expecting anyone to be right behind me.
Sure. At the gas station, yeah.
Right. And he goes, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, calm down, brother. You look half black yourself."
That's what he said to you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Look like
I
you
love
could be
that.
half black yourself. and he's like, "Can you get me McDonald's?" I'm like, I don't know, man. I really don't have money for this gas right here. He goes, "Just give me. I'm not gonna. You can trust me. Just give me McDonald's."
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay. I get a McDonald's. And that's really where that story ends. But I wanted to just share the.
Can I relate it to a story of my own? Because
Yes,
I like
you can.
doing that with Braden's brain. I like taking some of the spotlight off you. I went to that McDonald's one time in college, late. It was like midnight. We're sitting in the drive-thru. I was there with my ex-girlfriend. She was driving. Beautiful young lady. I should call her. No. But a homeless guy came up and he was like, not like knocking on windows, but kind of around cars asking for money. And I was shit-faced sitting in the passenger seat. And I was like, fuck it. Babe, roll down the window. Give him a couple bucks. I'll give him a couple bucks. He handed him like $3. And he goes, "Oh, thank you. But actually, I'm looking for a place to stay tonight."
Oh.
And I like sobered up in like a second, and I just said, drive away. We'll go to another McDonald's." I was like, get the fuck away. Like, because at this point, the windows roll down. He's right at the window. Like, just who knows, right? This has become an anti-homeless thing. I don't want anyone to be homeless. And I was like, no, drive away. Like, drive. And we got away and lived to tell the story. So that area, if you're ever in Waco, just be careful. Be careful.
Yeah. I mean,
Get
if
get
you
fast food.
if you can and they ask
Get
you,
any kind
I
of
would
chicken.
recommend buying them food if they ask and you are willing to. There's no harm in that.
It's not like the mob where you are in debt to them forever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're just I've done that before. Just giving a couple bucks, like, hey, go get yourself some hash browns or something. So look, I tried. I tried. I wasn't gonna snuggle into bed with them.
Right.
So we tried to be nice. Anyway, that is the Camp Show, Rogue Media Sports Network. Braden, any parting thoughts before we get you out of here?
No.
Good thought. Absolutely. One of the great minds, Braden Murray. We'll be back tomorrow on the Camp Show.
We are Rogue Media Sports.